All right, today we're diving into one of the world's most ancient and profound spiritual texts, the Bhagavad Gita. But we're going to look at it through a really modern lens, almost like a user's manual for your own mind. We're going to see how this 5,000-year-old conversation is actually a practical roadmap for navigating life's toughest moments. So let's start where it all begins, on the battlefield. This question is really the heart of the whole thing. See, the entire story is set on this massive battlefield, right before this epic war is about to kick off. But you'll see pretty quickly that the real fight isn't between the two armies. No, the real war is happening inside the head of just one person, our hero, Arjuna. And here he is, at the absolute moment of truth. Arjuna, who's supposed to be the greatest warrior of his time, just completely falls apart. He looks across the field and sees his family, his cousins, his uncles, his teachers, and he's just paralyzed. The source material has a great word for this state: incompletion. It's that feeling of being so powerless and conflicted inside that you just can't act. His mind is spinning, he's physically ill from the stress, and he's ready to just throw down his weapons and quit. This is where the Gita flips from being just an old story to being our story. That battlefield, it's a metaphor for our own mind during a crisis. Arjuna's struggle against his own family becomes our struggle against our own self-doubt, our fears, our anxieties. And his guide, Krishna, well, he isn't just some distant god. He represents our own higher consciousness. You know, that wise, calm voice deep inside all of us that we can tap into if we just learn how to listen. So what does Krishna do? He doesn't give Arjuna some big, abstract philosophical lecture. No, he sees that Arjuna is in a state of total breakdown and gives him a practical, actionable toolkit to pull himself out of it. It's a clear framework to move from that state of powerlessness back to a place of purpose and clarity. This isn't about blind faith. It's a straight-up science for mastering your own mind, and it's built on 4 really powerful principles. Krishna's whole framework rests on these 4 pillars. Think of them as the building blocks for creating a powerful inner world: integrity, authenticity, responsibility, and enriching. These are the keys that unlock the door out of that state of incompletion. So let's break down what each one really means. Okay, let's decode this. Integrity isn't just about not lying to other people. It's about honoring the words you give to yourself. Authenticity is all about closing that gap between the person you are on the inside and the person you present to the world. Responsibility. Now this one's deep. It's the powerful realization that you are the source of how you experience your life, which unlocks the power of your feelings. And finally, enriching is about realizing that by contributing to others, you tap into the very power of living itself. Each pillar is a tool for mastering a different part of yourself.
This is probably the most famous and maybe most misunderstood verse in the whole Gita. It hits the root of all our anxiety, right? How can we possibly act if we're terrified of the outcome? Krishna's answer is a total game changer. He's saying, shift your focus. It's not about not caring about the result, it's about changing what you focus on.
So basically, there are 2 ways to operate in life. When you act from that state of incompletion, you're always worried about the result. You're driven by ego, by fear of failure, or by greed for success. And that path, it just leads to more anxiety and suffering. But what if you shift? What if you focus only on the action itself, on doing it with total integrity and authenticity? Then you're acting from a place of completion. The action itself becomes the reward, and you're suddenly free from that emotional roller coaster of chasing outcomes.
And this leads to an even deeper idea, a really profound shift in thinking. The Gita suggests that our modern obsession with finding our one purpose is actually a trap that creates suffering. What if life isn't a single purpose you have to achieve, but a huge, open field of infinite possibility? The moment you stop frantically chasing one single goal and just relax into your own authentic nature, you stop fighting against life and you start flowing with it. So as Arjuna is soaking all this in, Krishna brings him to the final and most powerful technology for the mind. And it's not what you'd expect. It's not about fighting harder or thinking smarter or trying to control everything more. It's about a complete and total shift in perspective that dissolves the inner conflict for good. Now, I know what you're thinking. Surrender? Doesn't that mean giving up? But that's not it at all. In fact, it's the total opposite. This isn't about surrendering to failure. It's about surrendering the ego's desperate, anxious need to be in control of every little thing. It's about dropping the baggage, the past guilt, the future anxieties, and just trusting in the larger cosmic intelligence that's holding everything together. In this moment of surrender, Arjuna is shown this incredible vision of the entire universe, seeing how everything is perfectly interconnected. And he finally gets it. Surrender isn't passive, it's the ultimate act of enriching your life because you're finally aligned with how things really are. It takes you past doubt, even past faith, into a state of deep, unwavering trust. This is the state of completion he was looking for all along. And so you see how Arjuna's journey becomes our journey. His crisis, his questions, his confusion, and his ultimate breakthrough. It's a timeless roadmap for us. The Gita isn't just a fascinating story to read. It's an instruction manual, ready to be applied to help us transform our own inner chaos into a space of clarity, peace, and real power. So that brings us to the final question, and this one is for you. What is your battlefield? Where is that inner conflict for you right now? And think about this. Are you fighting that battle in the zone of failure, constantly worried about what you might lose? Or could you use these principles to shift that fight into the zone of creation, where the question instead becomes, what's the highest, most amazing possibility for me here? The Gita's wisdom suggests that just changing that one question, well, that could change absolutely everything.